Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. In this video, we are going to take a look at some awesome comics that managed to find their way to me here in North Carolina. And if you watch one of my recent live streams, you know that we've had a few snafus when it comes to deliveries. But these books managed to actually show up, and there are some cool ones in this stack that we are going to look at right now. So the very first stack of books that we are going to check out all come from Scout Comics. And I've actually said this before, that the indie comics that are being produced right now are incredible. They honestly are solid publications that are coming out, and the ones that are coming out from Scout are pretty awesome. The first title that I'm going to show you is one that I have yet to read. I picked it up because I read the synopsis of it. I was intrigued by what I read, and I decided to pick up a couple of copies. And when this video is over, I'm actually going to read them, and fingers crossed that this one delivers on what that synopsis actually conveyed to me when I read about it. The book that we're talking about is called Red Shift. Red Shift. And I think that this thing has something to do with like space travel and Mars. And I love that kind of stuff. And I saw this cover right here. I thought it was a really cool cover, so I decided to pick it up. And like I said, I am actually looking forward to reading this one because I have a feeling that it's going to be a pretty good one. So I also picked up 2 copies of this next cover, again, of Red Shift issue number 1. I just thought that that was an interesting cover right there, so I picked up 2 copies of that. And admittedly, I've been watching a lot of shows on the streaming services that are like space travel related, so maybe I'm just on a kick right now when it comes to space travel. But again, picked up a couple of copies of that. And while I was at it, I actually picked up an ash can cover, an ash can copy, if you will, of Red Shift. And I just saw it there. It was only a couple of bucks, so I went ahead and snagged it. I have not even opened this thing up, but I will be taking a look at it here momentarily. So just again, a cool thing. And I also was turned on to a Scout Comics title by Pretty Fly for a Filipino Guy. He turned me on to this title. I read it, and before I knew it, I was 3 issues into this comic. I was messaging the creators on Instagram, telling them how much I enjoyed reading their comic and checking out the artwork. That's how much I enjoyed this next one. And if you haven't read it, I encourage you to check it out. The book that I'm talking about is called The Recount. The Recount is the book, and it is from Scout Comics. Like I said, I read this thing and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I picked up several copies. That's one of the covers. Picked up a couple of versions of that. Also picked up this one. This reminds me of a movie poster. It might be Scarface. It might be Scarface movie poster. I thought that that was a pretty interesting cover. I also snagged this one right here. I just thought that that one was just a little interesting. The skull and crossbones mask over here. This one looks like an owl sitting on the statue in Washington, D.C. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then the very last cover that I picked up is that one right there. But this show, or this comic, The Recount, to me is like a mixture of like Jack Bauer's 24 with the Department of Truth. It is like a mixture of those things. It is a high energy conspiracy political type of comic that I thoroughly enjoyed. And if you haven't read it, I encourage you to check it out. If you're into politics, if you're into action, if you're into like political intrigue and that kind of stuff, The Recount. It is totally worth picking up. I've read the first 3 issues. I think issue 4 is out. I haven't picked that up or read it, but I'm looking forward to snagging that. So the next stack of books that I'll be showing you are actually some books that came from Sunset Comics, and I have not looked at these books yet. They are unboxed, but they are face down the way that they came. I have not looked at them yet, but the folks over at Sunset Comics in the LA area actually sent me a stack of books, and you guys probably heard about this before when I spoke about them on the Comics Today show. And so they sent me a nice little note here because I helped to raise some awareness over the fact that they are opening up a shop, one of the first shops that I've been aware of that is open in the post-COVID period. So again, Sunset Comics in the LA area, and that's cool. So what they sent me, I think, is a couple of covers from their variant that they did with Todd Knock. And they actually did a signing event with him in the shop, and they sent me copies. So here is a signed copy of X Corp right here, and you can see Todd Knock's signature right there. This is the sketch cover. Definitely a cool cover right there. That's cool. That's cool. And there are two of them, one signed, and this one appears not to be signed, but very, very cool. Here is the Virgin cover right here. That's striking. That really is. That is a striking cover right there. That's cool. And then they sent, well, two copies of the Virgin variant right there. And then this is probably the trade dress. Yep. So here is the trade dress, and there are two copies of that. And what's going to happen, I will tell you, is that at least one full set of this from Sunset Comics is going to make its way back to the comic book community in some form or fashion. And maybe what we'll do, I need to see whether I can make this happen or not. But if this video gets to, let's say, 300 likes or comments, maybe what we'll do, I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to do something. So make sure that you like and comment on this video, because I may use in some way, shape, or form the comments as the mechanism to actually give these books back to folks. And I need to figure out how to do it, whether it's possible to do it. But if you're interested in participating, make sure that you comment on this video, because I may be able to find a way to leverage those comments and do a random drawing from that, or a random pick. So make sure you do that. But these books will definitely make their way back. I think I'll keep the signed one for myself because that's pretty cool. But again, huge shout out to Sunset Comics for hooking me up and technically hooking you guys up as well. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this one. I hope that you enjoyed my first haul from North Carolina. And if you did, again, hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment behind. As always, if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.